everybody, it's Mindy, and I wanted to join you today to talk about something that I really love and highly recommend. I recommend it as a pharmacist to people who are not even members of Young Living, but what I wanted to talk to you about today was Ningxia Red. And if you got a starter kit at all, then you got 2 sample packets of this in your starter kit. If you hadn't found them yet, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to find, but under your oils in the starter kit, you lift those up and lift them out, and then at the very bottom, there's tons of goodies, and some of those goodies that are down there is 2 of your Ningxia Red packets. So I always suggest to just stick them in the refrigerator, and if you're a mom or a working mom outside the home, then I recommend taking them out and drinking them around 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon when you kind of need an afternoon pick-me-up. So a little bit about Ningxia Red before we just delve into like energy support. Ningxia Red is just a whole body nutrient infusion for your total health and wellness. It does provide energy support. It supports normal cellular function. It contains powerful ingredients that are involved in many antioxidant processes. It supports whole body health and wellness, normal eye health as well. So good for your eyes. And then helps prevent against oxidative stress. And oxidative stress, free radicals, etc. You can Google more about those and why you want to reduce oxidative stress in general. But the wolfberry, and you can see the picture of the berries on here. The wolfberry is actually the main ingredient in Ningxia Red. And a lot of people ask, is that the same as the goji berry? And essentially, yes, they are in the same family, but they are a tad bit different. So overall, I just say yes, they are. Because if you remember from your, 7th grade, where you learned kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. So they're in the same family, they're just different species of berry. And they come from our partner farm in China. So there are good things that we get from Chinese medicine, and Chinese medicine has used the Ningxia berry or wolfberry for hundreds of years for its health and wellness benefits. And then our dried berries that come from the farm are actually certified organic. So that's an amazing thing that I always love to hear, certified organic, when I'm talking about whole foods and getting or adding things to a healthy diet. So what makes the wolfberry so important to me, and why do I recommend it? And the reason is because it contains all essential amino acids. So when you talk about amino acids, or when you hear somebody talking about them, there are 2 different types of amino acids. There's one type that our body naturally makes itself, and then there's another type that we have to get from our diet, from supplementation through, eating whole foods diet, fruits and vegetables, things like that. And our body can't make them on its own, so we get them from other sources. Like most people who are out there who have never heard of Ningxia Red think that vegetarians actually can't get all of their essential amino acids, which is not true, because if a vegetarian actually drinks or takes Ningxia Red, then they can get all essential amino acids that they need from their diet. So if you're a vegetarian, I highly recommend it. If you're not a vegetarian, I still recommend it because, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but definitely for myself, I know my diet is not always the best. Sometimes my diet is great and it's like way up here. And then like yesterday, it's like way down here because I ate terribly. I think I ate like chili cheese dogs for lunch, with no fruit for lunch at all. So not a well-balanced diet. And if you're like me, Anything extra, essential amino acids, that are whole foods, that are vitamins and minerals, wonderful nutrients that I can get, I like to take in, which is why I do Ningxia Red daily, and would recommend it twice daily, even for some people. And then I also do my master formula as well. So, contains all your essential amino acids. It is very high in protein. And when you think about fruits, you don't necessarily always associate fruits with protein. And they just, when you think about protein, you think of, oh gracious, meats. So like red meats, chicken, your poultry, your turkey, that kind of thing, is where you think of your major sources of protein coming from. But Ningxia Red is 13 to 16% by weight protein, and so it's just a very rich, dense form. It's one of the highest forms, actually, of a fruit that contains protein. And then there are other things in it that are wonderful for your body as well. One of those is potassium. So potassium is involved in like almost all cellular functions throughout the body, especially in your muscles. And then there's zinc as well. So zinc, when I think about it, I always think about the zinc that we add to our TPNs at the hospital. We add it to TPNs to help promote healing in patients. And when you break that down to like the smaller function of zinc and why we use it, zinc is actually a cofactor, or I like to call it just a helping hand in hundreds of different reactions or enzymatic reactions in the body. So there are enzymes, and it kind of holds hands with zinc, and it helps fuel certain reactions, hundreds of different ones throughout the body. And so that's why we always need zinc. And then also it has good fiber in it, tons of good fiber. So fiber is super awesome for gut health and maintaining just overall emotional well-being. We don't always connect our emotions and our overall health with gut health, but actually our emotions and our gut health are very tightly interwoven. So that would probably be a whole nother video's worth of a discussion about how and why that is. But just know that overall gut health and staying regular and using or getting good sources of fiber are highly recommended. It does contain sodium benzoate, which I've heard there are some articles out there that say, oh, sodium benzoate is not very safe and da 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 da. But there's two things about it, so I don't want you to be afraid of it on the label, because Young Living is not even required by the FDA to put it on the label, because the concentration is so small in this little 60 ml bag. The concentration is like less than 0.00025%. So it's less than that. So it's very, very small, but it comes from the fact that there are fruits in there. So some fruits that have sodium benzoate in it naturally are apples. If you've ever eaten an apple, then you've eaten sodium benzoate. If you eat cinnamon or clove, or if you eat plums or prunes or cranberries, all of these fruits and herbs, they produce their own preservative, and the preservative is sodium benzoate, and it helps protect itself from fermenting. So I wouldn't be afraid of that on the label, but it is on there, so I just wanted to mention that. And then there are other forms of Ningxia. I only have the Ningxia Red in my house because we try not to do caffeine since I'm pregnant and still nursing. I limit my caffeine intake. I don't even intake it every day, just occasionally, once or twice a week. So there's other forms of Ningxia called Ningxia Nitro, and it comes in a tube. And then there's also Ningxia Zing, which comes in a can. And these both contain about 30 to 45 milligrams of caffeine each, which is a little bit less than your average chocolate bar. So if you don't want caffeine and you want the all-natural pick-me-up, then you can just stick with the regular Ningxia Red. If you like to have caffeine in the afternoons, then you can do the Ningxia Nitro or the Ningxia Zing. And the actual caffeine content in the Ningxia Nitro comes from green tea extract, and in the Ningxia Zing, it comes from white tea extract. Again, a little bit less than the caffeine amount that's in a chocolate bar. So a lot of people ask me, can I still use these products while pregnant and nursing? And I will tell every person that's just completely up to you. However, I do. I use them while pregnant. I use them while nursing. And if you want to use the ones that have caffeine in them, the Ningxia Nitro or the Ningxia Zing, then my suggestion would be just to stay within the guidelines. And the guidelines, I mean, the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology or the National Health Service. They both recommend to stay less than 200 milligrams of caffeine per day. So if you drink one nitro and you're getting 30 to 40 milligrams, you're definitely staying below that 200 milligram recommendation. And that's if you are even a coffee drinker or if you drink Cokes and things like that. So less than 200 milligrams per day. And then another question that I always get is, can I give Ningxia to my child? So my child is 17 months old. We haven't given it to him yet, just because I haven't really thought about it or thought about doing it yet. But I wouldn't be scared to at this point. And I have friends who have 2-year-olds who they give Ningxia Red to their 2-year-olds on a daily basis. They won't give them a whole 60 milliliter packet. They'll maybe give them a half or a fourth or something like that. But you are an empowered mommy or daddy, and you can look at the ingredients and see what's in it, and compare that to what you already give them. Do you already give them fruit juices? Which this is not a juice. This is actually a berry puree, which makes it a little bit different. So it means it has less sugar than a normal fruit juice would. Or do you give them caffeine already? If you give your children Cokes or Pepsis or Dr. Peppers or things like that already have caffeine in them, and you want to give them some Ningxia Nitro or some Ningxia Zing, that's completely up to you. So I don't, because I don't, my child actually has had caffeine before. He's had some sips of Coke, but we don't give him caffeine on a regular basis. So I don't have the Ningxia Nitro or Zing in my household to say that we use it or that we would give it to him, but I would give him Ningxia Red. And then the last question that I sometimes get, like I said, there is some sugar in it, and that sugar is naturally occurring from the fruit. So because it does have fruit in it, in a 60 milliliter packet like this, it does have 5 grams of sugar. If you are diabetic, I would just recommend to go by the ADA guidelines, the American Diabetes Association, who recommends 45 to 60 grams of carbs or sugar per meal. So if you're taking this in as a snack, or if you're drinking it with a meal, just consider that it's got about 5 grams of sugar in it. And, just be an informed user or product user. Do you drink fruit juices already? If you drink fruit juices, or if you drink carbonated beverages, you're getting a lot more sugar in those products right now than would be in Ningxia. But again, you just can check your sugar, stay within those guidelines is what I recommend, and see how it affects you. So, Ningxia Red is super awesome. Again, for energy support, supports normal eye health, helps prevent against oxidative stress. It helps cellular function, and it is vegetarian. It's got all of your essential amino acids that you need. And it does support total body health and wellness. And this is why I love Ningxia Red, because it's like this little bitty shot. Takes a minute or so to drink once a day. And you can do it twice a day if you want. I have done it twice a day. And it's just like this nutrient-packed, infused, not juice, but berry puree. And so I highly recommend it. And I hope that everybody will join me, because not in March, but in March, I would suggest ordering some Ningxia Red. Order enough for a 30-day supply. And then there are 30 days in April. So in April, starting on the first day, I want you all to join us for a 30-day Ningxia Red challenge. So that means drinking one of these packets per day, or 60 milliliters per day, for each of the 30 days in April. And I will remind you guys through the month of March about ordering it. But just to get ready for the summer and to have all these vitamins and nutrients, I want everyone to at least be exposed to them and know about Ningxia Red, and know we'll create a Facebook group to go through the days with you and send out some emails and more information. So I hope that y'all will join us in April. Plan on doing a Ningxia Red 30-day challenge. And other than that, I'm going to let you guys go, and I will talk to y'all later. And I hope y'all learned something today. All right, bye.